Y entonces aquí hello, welcome to Elecciones 2018. I'm Elizabeth Ortega-Lohmeyer, your host and producer. Today we're going to talk with Karla Silvestre y Santiago David Tavara. Karla Silvestre is a candidate for Montgomery County Board of Education at large. She holds a master's in education, works for Montgomery College, and before she did work as an outstanding Latino liaison for the county executive. And as I said before, in the primaries, she did an excellent work that no one else have ever done as a liaison in Montgomery County. Santiago, what is your first question?
Thank you, Carla. Can you describe your job? What do you do there? What do you plan to do if you are elected?
Well, I think that one of the reasons that I decided to run for the school board was because I feel that the Montgomery County Public Schools has a great tradition of excellence in education, but sometimes it feels like we're still operating in the Montgomery County of 20 years ago. I feel that we don't have a good understanding of children and families in poverty. So that's one of the perspectives that I bring to the Board of Education, is being 43% of our students are in free and reduced meals in Montgomery County. That means that there's a significant number of children and families in poverty, and that's the perspective that I bring, along with, as you know, my 20 years of experience in education and community engagement.
Mm-hmm. You were endorsed by, can you mention the groups? Maybe the Washington Post didn't endorse you, right?
I was endorsed by the Teachers Union, by the Montgomery County Retirees Association, the Montgomery County Public Schools Employees Association. I was endorsed by County Executive Mike Leggett, County Council Member Nancy Navarro, Council Member Sidney Katz, Council Member Hans Reamer. I'm going to forget someone. Democratic Council candidates Will Jawando and Gabe Albornoz. On the delegate side, Ann Kaiser, Nancy King, Senator Cheryl Kagan. I'm going to forget. But
Casa of Maryland?
Yes, organizations, Casa in Action.
Casa in Action, sorry.
The Black Democrats, the Hispanic Democrats. And I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else.
Yeah. You disagreed with the Board of Education now that they are not focusing on maybe Latinos or Hispanics. Can you mention those demographic changes, in the county, and how you plan to address to give some solutions to this?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest changes is when I talk about the Montgomery County of today, I'm talking about the changing demographics. I'm talking about the use of technology, how it has revolutionized education. And I'm also talking about the skills that students need for the jobs of tomorrow. They're very different today than they were even 10 and 20 years ago. So as I mentioned, the student demographics, so the Latino population is now the majority in the early grades, about 32%. I also mentioned the achievement gap. 78% of our Hispanic students are graduating. Only 78%. The countywide average is 90. That's a 12-point gap that we're not making enough efforts to close. I have very specific ideas on what it's going to take to close the achievement gap, because I am of the community, I have worked with the community, and I have worked with the most vulnerable members of the community.
And you understand the culture, that's the other part.
Yes.
I think that's a very important part when we talk about that you're running and you're Latina, and why should I vote for you and not another person? For me, it is important that the person who gets elected understands the culture that I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're supposed to understand all the cultures,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, it is important that this specific group is being understood. I have seen other people who are elected and directors and community workers, and they don't understand the culture that they talk
Yes.
about, and that's a big mistake.
You made such a great point, Elizabeth, because understanding the culture is critical. We can roll out strategy after strategy after strategy, but if we don't understand the culture of the families, then they may or may not be effective. And I think that that's something I bring because of my being a Latino immigrant. I understand that there's cultural differences, so my sensitivity to other cultures, the Ethiopians, the Nigerians, the Asian Americans, I have a greater sensitivity that there are cultural differences that we need to keep in mind as we roll out initiatives for children and families.
There are many teachers asked me when my daughter was in school, they asked me questions about the culture because they didn't understand why many mothers talk about someone who live in their household and the children call them tío. And so that to me was like, of course I know, but they don't know and they don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And also when parents take their children to their country for Christmas
A
and
month.
and for a month, and they don't understand that the children are losing a lot in those days.
Yeah,
But they don't also do anything because since they don't understand, what can they do?
right.
They just think that, oh, I had an emergency, I had to go to my country to visit my parents. But anyway, so talking about this, Karla, I'm concerned that a very little, small group of Latinos voted in the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do about it?
To get out the vote.
Yes.
Well, I am, as we were talking earlier, strategizing about how to get into the Spanish-speaking media, either the print media, the TV media, doing social, bilingual, right? So as you mentioned, the folks that are citizens already, the folks that are registered to vote are probably bilingual. So, but kind of targeting the ads to that bilingual, bicultural Latino that is going to vote in Montgomery County to get them out the vote, and let them know that there is a Latino candidate running, because sometimes people don't reach out to the Latino community, and then we complain that they don't go out and vote. Well, if nobody reached out to them because they assume they're not going to vote, it's like a chicken and an egg. It kind of feeds into itself. Always good to do voter registration, because many people have become citizens, but then they don't know what to do. Sometimes I go on the radio and I give people my phone number, and I said, if you need any help registering, give me a call. And they called me. They said, I just became a citizen. I had no idea what to do next.
Yeah.
So just, that voter education is important for everybody, right? We don't do a good enough job, and especially for new citizens. Congratulations, you're a new citizen. Now what?
Yeah. And also I put the finger on the Democratic Central Committee, and also in the Latino Hispanic Club or the Latino Club, because only when we have elections we talk about this, but not before. Like right now we can start planning for the next 4 years, the next 2 years. But how do you expect? So you are friends with the Latino Democratic Club.
Yes.
And why they are not all over the county registering people or telling them? Some people told me, and many people, not some, after the elections, that they didn't know that it was important to vote in the primaries.
A lot of Latinos told you that.
A lot.
Yes. Often also Latinos register as independents because they don't, they don't feel an affiliation to one party or the other yet. And then they realize they can't vote in the primaries. Yeah.
But the ones who are Democrats, we're talking about them.
Yeah.
So where was the message to tell them you have to vote? If this group of people that I spoke, that it was maybe 40 people, they didn't know that it was important, or they miss it for the days, oh, it was yesterday, oh. So
Qué pena.
Qué pena. I don't want to just say que pena. I think I put the finger on all the community.
Yeah.
Maybe we are going in one circle and we're just talking, you to me and Santiago and the Democratic Central Committee and the ones who are in Facebook, but not the rest of the county. So I don't know what else can you do to get people from Damascus and Germantown and Poolsville and Clarksburg to come and vote, and the ones who are in these areas, popular areas, to tell them it is important to vote.
I think that because I became a citizen 11 years ago, so I'm still new at this.
Oh, okay.
And our community is also new at this, right? We're some of us are native born, some of us are immigrant born. So we need to gain more experience politically. I feel very strongly that Latinos will come out and vote when there's an issue that they really care about.
Yes.
We live in a very prosperous county. We have to admit, we have things pretty good here. But if I can talk to a parent about their children's education, and they still think it's good, right? It's pretty good. But I think we have to fine-tune our messages to help them really understand what's in it for them. Why should they matter? I mean, sometimes we talk about things in too abstract ways. We have to break down the message only because our population doesn't have the habit of voting, right? So have to figure out, what does Elizabeth really care about? And how can I talk to her in the terms of things that she cares about? Not, everything in the universe, but really targeted messages to get the vote out.
Were you surprised by your victory in the last primaries, and also your rival, your opponent, Julie Riley mentioned her experience. She's an advocate. Why do people should vote for you?
Julie Riley has been a wonderful advocate for special education, and I really admire her work for special education communities. I have 20 years of experience in education. I know Montgomery County really well. I have worked with the county executive. I work at Montgomery College. I say that I do education full-time, all the time. My work at the college is an asset. I bring a lot of experience and know-how about what's happening out there in terms of the workforce, what we're doing well in MCPS as our students graduate and come to Montgomery College. So I have a lot of different skills that really bring a lot of experience and know-how to the Board of Education. I'm also a collaborative person. I'm a collaborative problem solver that gets things done. Remember, it takes 5 votes to get anything done on the Board of Education.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
So you have to really be able to work well with people, build relationships, build trust, kind of form a team. We're all in this together, and we have to work together, work out our differences so that we can advance the agenda of the Board of Education. I think that's one of my strengths, and that's something that I would bring to the Board of Education.
And the part that you are Latina, how is that going to help influence the other 4 members of the Board of Education?
Well, I think that it's important to have diverse voices speaking up on the issue. So it's one thing for somebody to say, we need more ESOL classes. It's another thing for a Latina who has been an ESOL student, who is able to communicate well with the ESOL parent community, to be able to speak from my lived experience and advocate for something I know very well. So I think that Montgomery County is ready to have a new Latino representative on the Board of Education. I think that my experience and my work trajectory speaks for itself. I think people know the quality of my work. And so I think that combined with the fact that I am a Latina will help me a lot.
So when Ana Sol was a board member of the Board of Education, it was amazing. Amazing in the sense that she was so well qualified, as you know, and by the way, she endorses you too.
Yes.
But she took, and all the Latino population in Montgomery County depended on her. So all the problems of the whole, and she was only in one district, she was not at large.
Right.
So she had to hear all the problems of the whole Montgomery County, and it was overwhelming, I remember.
Yes.
But it was the only time when she asked the Latinos to come to hearings,
Yes.
to testify or to protest or whatever. So that was the only time that the Latino population was involved with the Board of Education. After that, we don't see that anymore. And there were very good reasons for us to participate in those hearings and in those issues. So I hope that when you win, that you will do the same. And Ana Sol told me to tell you to raise your voice very loud, and she likes you very much. Let me go through all the people that are sending messages. Oh, it's a long way. So Lisa Rubinstein Fuller, Franz Reynaldo Chavez, Dani Amaya, Sergio Gomez, Maria Borlik, Grace Rivera, and 50 other more people that I'm gonna ask them to get 50 more people to vote for you.
Yes, thank you.
You were chairman of the awards committee at the Maryland Hispanic Gala. How do you feel about it? I saw so much power in that room. It was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes.
So. And can you tell me about your experience?
I love that event because I love to see our young people looking handsome and beautiful and smart, and the message that it sends to them that we as a community will work to put on this event, to raise all this money because we believe in them and we want them to go on and continue their studies. So that's why I do it. I just love that picture when they're all up on stage, all dressed up, proud, their parents are in front of them, and it just gives me so much, I'm getting emotional.
We all do.
It gives me just so much hope that what we're doing is for something, and that these young people are going to become professionals and continue the work that people like you and Elizabeth have started, and now I'm trying to do here in Montgomery County as well.
¿Qué les puedes decir a la comunidad latina en español ahora?
Bueno, yo soy muy orgullosa de ser latina, guatemalteca, inmigrante. Soy muy orgullosa de mi herencia y también muy orgullosa de ser estadounidense y ciudadana. Y estoy lista para usar mi voz, el poder que me van a dar los votantes para poder avanzar la agenda de nuestros estudiantes aquí en Montgomery County. Yo quiero escuchar de los padres de familia. La voz de ellos es tan importante como cualquier otro padre en este condado. Quiero saber sus esperanzas para sus niños, pero también las quejas y los desafíos. Así que necesito su apoyo para poder lograr esta campaña. Necesito el voto. El 25 de octubre empieza el voto temprano y el 6 de noviembre es el mero día de las elecciones.
¿Y cuál es la ventaja de votar temprano?
Bueno, tú puedes planificar tu día. Tengo que trabajar el sábado, entonces mejor voy el viernes. Voy a estar en la iglesia el domingo, entonces el sábado. O el martes de elecciones tengo que trabajar todo el día, así que no voy a poder llegar. Entonces hacer ese plan, ¿qué día voy a votar para que no llegue el mero día y no llegaste a tiempo, o mucho tráfico, o una emergencia, llovió, nevó. Así que es una gran conveniencia. Y también otra gran conveniencia ahora es de que te puedes inscribir a votar durante el voto temprano.
En ese mismo momento.
En ese mismo momento, trayendo una identificación del Estado. Es excelente, ¿no?
Y no tienen que votar en su precinto.
En cualquier precinto del voto temprano, que son
como
10, 11 por ahí.
Sí. Entonces esa es una ventaja bien grande.
Sí.
Porque si me queda más cerca la oficina del County Executive, el salón ahí donde se vota, entonces puedo ir el domingo a las 10 de la mañana antes de ir a misa y votar en ese momento.
Sí.
Y yo creo que esa parte no la sabe nuestra población, de que es una tremenda ventaja de votar temprano en vez de esperar el último momento del día de votar.
Muy bien. Inglés o en español.
Tú escoge.
There are two issues. One is metal detectors in schools, if you support that, and also giving condoms to high school because of diseases. I don't know if you can give what's your opinion on
Yeah,
that.
so the first one is about school safety, right? We have a horrible nationwide phenomenon where people are coming into schools with guns and shooting our innocent students. So I think that metal detectors is something that the school system is studying to figure out what the feasibility, who's doing this already, how can we make it still a welcoming environment. So that's one option. But ultimately, how do we make our students safe? We can keep people that don't belong in the school out of the school. There's ways to do that with safety measures, check-ins, controlled entrances. But how do we keep a student that belongs in that school from bringing a weapon
That's the question.
into the school? That's the hard part. And so I believe very strongly in mental health, prevention. Why is that student to the point where they feel that they have to bring a weapon, either for their own safety or because they're in crisis and they're ready to do something horrible with that weapon? I would really like to see some kind of system so that our young people are able to report to someone in the school when there's someone in crisis. They know who's having a bad day. They know who's posting really dangerous things on social media. Let's use our own students who are in the classroom with some of these other troubled students to figure out a system to give them care, to find them help. They are young people. They're crying out for help. Let's help them with the support that they need.
And I think that's the problem with the schools, that they don't have the support in mental health, that there's not enough professionals to do this.
You worked at the county, so
The whole story.
Yo
sé todo.
We need to really build a system of mental health in Montgomery County. There, even if people that can afford it, it's really hard to access it. So imagine if you don't find bilingual therapists.
That's a big
that
problem.
Understand the culture. We have a long way to go, and I hope that the new administration will really think hard about how do we build a system of mental health providers. Like we have the primary care clinics. Now let's take it up to
someone wrote here something that is controversial. Necesitamos traer la oración de vuelta a las escuelas. You think that praying in the schools will help a little bit?
I think that students can do anything they want in their own time, right? But we do in this country have the separation of church and state. So that's not something that the school board can decide. That is something on the national level that has been decided about prayer. But Muslim students, for example, their religion mandates that they have to pray certain times during the day, and they find a way to do it. So religion is a very private thing.
Yeah,
and I think that families, are raising their children in their community of faith, and the parents should definitely inculcate, don't forget to say your prayers at the beginning of the school day or whenever you need to do it. I'm all for it. We need it. But it is a very personal thing. So I think it's something between the parents and the family.
So, Karla, are you going to go on the air in all the ethnic programs in radios? Are you?
Yes.
And I think Santiago is going to help you.
Awesome. Great.
He knows a lot of programs and a lot of people in radio.
I also have the support of many Ethiopian community leaders through my work in Montgomery County. And, that's a very growing, quickly growing community, and also hope to use my bicultural, multicultural skills to do some interviews translated into Amharic.
Good. Oh, excellent. Any other questions?
No, you didn't respond about the school system planning to offer condoms to students, because it's a high spiking in sexually transmitted diseases.
Yes,
So
yes.
I don't know if you support that or is a way to promote also unsafe sex. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I think it's important that students have access. So what has been decided by the current school board is to put the health clinics in our schools are run by Health and Human Services with the county. So what has been decided is to have them available there. So it's not like they're passing them out in the hallways, but they are there to provide access to students. They do help. The national research shows that having access to contraception is very important, and it does help in reducing sexually transmitted diseases, and the evidence shows that it does not increase promiscuity.
What else would you propose to stop that? The high number of sexually transmitted diseases, in schools now. What else do you think is besides that?
Well, I think it's important that we need to have real conversations with our children about sexuality. And again, currently that's something that the families are primarily responsible for, but oftentimes we don't talk about it. And who do they learn from? Each other. And maybe teenagers don't have the best information. And so we as parents need to, I have a teenager, and I was brought up a very certain way. And so I'm living this right now. Come on, Karla, are you going to be the parent that's going to talk to your children openly about this so that they are informed and make intelligent decisions? Or am I going to be the parent that hopes that nothing bad happens and hope for the best? No. We have to step up as parents and do our jobs.
Yes. But the education of some parents may not be there.
Yes.
And that's the situation.
Right.
And that's what I think I have seen in the past of some parents. Karla, I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
I want to see you in the
Thank
Board
you.
of Education. And I'm sure Santiago does too.
She's going to be the only Latina if she wins, right?
Yes.
And women, right?
An extremely qualified Latina.
Extremely qualified. And all in this Board of Education will be women, right?
Yes.
Oh,
That's right.
It's the first time.
And at large means that the whole county can come to you and ask you all the questions and ask you to resolve all the issues.
So remember that the school board candidates all run at large.
Okay.
The districts only matter if you are running. You have to either represent the district, or if there's no district, if my district is not up for election, then I have to try to run for at large. But all the voters will have to decide on 4 seats. 3 district seats and 1 at large seat.
Okay, just one at large.
Yeah.
So that's going to be you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karla.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, and thank you to the viewers for
Gracias.
being with us on Elecciones 2018. Thank you, Santiago.
Gracias.